Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us for this boot camp on this Tuesday, October 17th. We're excited to have you with us today. I'm Robert Theobald, Small Business Ombudsman and Vice President of Small Business Services at the Arizona Commerce Authority. And one of the things we started doing recently that we like to do, and it's fun, is everybody post up in the chat where you are tuning in from. We like to see where throughout the state, and oftentimes other states. We're having a Flagstaff, Sholo, Sedona, Peoria, Glendale, Mesa, Glendale, Winslow, Scottsdale, Sierra Vista, Tucson, Gilbert, Goodyear, Sanders, Yuma, Page. All right, we got top to bottom and east to west. So we've got the whole state covered here with our attendance. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Again, if you haven't had a chance yet, post up in the chat where you're tuning in from. It's always fun to see everybody and where you're from. But as we get started, we like to start by thanking all of our community partners. We cannot do these webinars without our community partners' time, effort, and their expertise. They're giving back to the community, and we appreciate that very much. And so this is just a sample of our community partners. And again, we appreciate all their help. Those that haven't been with us before, the Small Business Bootcamp is designed to help small businesses prepare, plan, and grow. It is a Tuesday morning webinar every week, or nearly every week, at 9 a.m. We like to keep it consistent on that. But we also do other workshops and webinars to help bring content to small businesses. We sometimes do, we just recently, last week, did a lunch and learn on a Thursday afternoon, talking about the business one stop. And we have some other workshops coming up that we'll talk about here in a little bit. But the virtual workshops and webinars, we record all of those and we include those in our content library. And so our content library has well over 250, I think we're over 300 total webinars and workshops that are recorded that you can access at any time and review the materials, the video, and other stuff. So it's a great resource for you to access. And again, there's no cost to access the content library. It is there for your benefit. Some other programs that help support small businesses that the ACA provides is the Arizona Career Readiness Credential, the Arizona Innovation Challenge, Arizona MEP, Manufacturing Extension Partnership, the Arizona State Trade Expansion Program, Arizona at Work, and then our small business services. These are just a sample of some of the things, these divisions within the ACA. If you have more questions about it, feel free to reach out directly to me and I can either get you in contact with the program manager, or I can answer those questions for you. Another great program that our small business services team provides is the Small Business Checklist. And this is an online interactive resource to help small businesses, entrepreneurs, and anyone interested in opening a business in Arizona understand the commonly requested licensing, registration, and compliance needs at the local, state, and federal levels. You can also find a lot of other information to help support business in Arizona on that checklist. And it's the checklist webpage itself is very in-depth. There's a ton of information, but for quicker, shorter, simpler answers or questions, you can check out Sally, our virtual assistant. You can find her on the checklist homepage and follow through some of her prompts, and you can get some simple information much quicker. Also, some updates. We got a lot of things going on that we want to share. First, there's a program for women business entrepreneurs called 50 Women Can Change the World in Entrepreneurship. And this is a cohort style program over a period of time. We're going to post a link to the information in the chat. There is a small fee. I think it's about $100, but it's about $10,000 worth of content and connections through that program. The team running that asked me to be one of their advisors for it. And so I'm going to be helping with that as it kicks off, but looks to be a great program with a lot of very successful women entrepreneurs helping guide the program. And then also next we have Venture Madness 2024. The Venture Madness actually occurs in, I believe it's March, but it's a pitch competition, and the applications for that are currently open. So if you want to apply and submit your pitch and potentially be one of the finalists that can pitch in the Venture Madness event in front of all the investors that will be here and others, please check that out. It's a really fun event that I enjoy going to and participating in each year. And then we have some workshops coming up. So for manufacturers, we have our SCORE, in partnership with SCORE, we have our Manufacturing Summit on Friday, November 3rd. Starts at 8:30. It's in partnership with SCORE, the Arizona Manufacturing Extension Partnership, and ACA Small Business Services. So we've all partnered together to bring this to you. It will be in person only at the ACA offices on the first floor conference center on Friday, November 3rd. And then on Wednesday, November 8th, we have our Phoenix Business Journal Small Business Bootcamp Workshop on growth readiness. So being prepared to grow in 2024. This is a quarterly workshop series that we do with the Phoenix Business Journal, and we're excited. We've changed the format up a bit for this one. We've got 2 different panels and a presenter in between those 2 panels to talk about being prepared to grow in 2024 and what you can do to help you achieve that growth. So there is a small fee for both of those workshops, and they're both in person only in Phoenix, but you're welcome to come in from anywhere to attend it. So those are some of the updates. Also, you get an email from us every week that has not only the upcoming bootcamp sessions, but if you scroll through that email will include all the different events that we're aware of that relate to small business and some other information. So it's a great email that goes out usually on Thursdays. So be aware of that. And then let's look at some other programs. Currently, our Small Business Digital Academy is accepting applications. That's our 3-week digital cohort. So if you're interested in being part of that, we'll post the link for the information and where to apply in the chat. And then our upcoming sessions on October 24th and 31st, there are 2 separate sessions. If you can, but they're both by Size Up, and talking about the Size Up Arizona website that APS sponsors and runs, and it is a business data type website that can really help your business have some of that data that only large businesses had access to in the past. And I would really encourage you and anybody else you know that has a small business to attend both those sessions to see how they can leverage that website and that data that APS is bringing to small businesses for your benefit. And then on November 7th, we have our friends from the SBA office here in Phoenix are going to talk about the SBA's 3 C's: capital, counseling, and contracting. So we're real excited about our upcoming sessions. So please join us for those. And with that, we'll jump into today. We have Michael Jesse. He's the founder and CEO of Curiosity Center. He's based down in Pima County and was also with SCORE, or is with SCORE down there, doing some programs for them. And so we're going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen and turn over to Michael. And when Michael's getting set up, if you have questions for him, please place those in the Q&A at the bottom of the screen, because we may use the chat for some interaction. So we don't want those questions to get lost in the chat. So again, on the screen, Q&A for all your questions. And with that, Michael, I will turn it over to you.
All right, thank you so much. So thank you so much for attending today. Again, my name is Michael Jesse, owner of Curiosity Center. Curiosity Center is a learning and development center focused on the study of creativity and how it helps organizations develop creative leadership, innovative strategy, and creating high-performing teams through leadership development, organizational development, and coaching programs. Today, the focus is going to be, I want to show you how to be more productive and organized with your inbox, and to show you how to be more confident with your email, your to-do list, and your calendar. So those are the three parts we're going to be talking about today, is your email, your to-do lists, and your calendar. So as we are business leaders, we need to use creativity in multiple ways, whether it's strategic planning, revenue ops, customer service. There's many other activities that we go through. But now to be creative, we actually need that time to ideate and be able to create. And one of the places that I noticed that robs people of their time is their inbox. So today I'm going to focus on how to actually achieve inbox zero and how to be more productive by synchronizing your mail and your calendar with two other tools. One is going to be a CRM tool, and the other is going to be a project management tool. So with that, let's get started. So one of the people who came up with Inbox Zero is Merlin Mann. He coined the phrase to help people alleviate stress and accomplish more by a method of deleting, deferring, or doing. And we're going to focus on those three. There's also delegating, but we're just going to focus on deleting, deferring, and doing. One of the things that has come out in certain surveys is we actually spend quite a bit of time with inbox. So currently we receive roughly about 120 emails a day, and we send about 40. Now, if you think about that, even if you were to spend 1 minute reading 120 emails and 1 minute sending emails, that's 160 minutes just spent on inbox activities. So that's more than 2 hours. And even if you're really good about that, even if you cut that in half, you're still spending almost a little more than an hour a day just focusing on your inbox. That's a lot of time. So now what happens is it gets even worse if some of those activities actually are about revenue operations and customer service. You might be in there a lot more than just the 120 getting received and 140 being sent. So as business owners or solo entrepreneurs, we might be spending more time in the inbox. And on top of that, we also still have all of our personal stuff happening at the same time. So what I'm going to work with you today is how to take both worlds and collaborate in such a way where it's not so confusing anymore. And another thing that I truly dislike is to-do lists. I have gone through so many different to-do lists that it becomes sort of a way of like I've taken on Microsoft's, Google's, I've tried Todoist, I've tried Workspaces, I've tried so many different ones. And I just found out they just don't give me what I'm looking for. It's great that they allow me to put a due date on them, but I'm still just not in a space where I can look at my inbox, look at my to-do list, and look at my calendar to see what I'm supposed to be working on. So I've gotten to the point where I've just kind of gotten rid of using to-do lists. One of the things that have come up in a recent study is we actually spend almost an hour to 2 just creating or reviewing our tasks per day. Like that's an insane amount of time to be spent on just creating or reviewing tasks. And some of this still comes from the idea that all of our to-do list items, part of it comes from our inbox, but some of it comes from all these other places that they want you to take care of. Like, again, you've got your personal activities. You may have to pick up kids from school. You might be working on a project with someone. So there's all of these things that are just coming in. And so not only is your inbox getting full, your to-do list is getting full. So I'm going to walk you through like how I've navigated how to take the stuff that's in my inbox and the stuff that's in my to-do list and put them in a place where it's either going to be focusing on a conversation, or is it something I actually need to do? And if it's not a conversation and it's not something that I need to worry about, it just immediately gets deleted. So again, just clearing out that list. Here's a tip I got from a co-founder of a company I used to work at. He had mentioned you really should only be spending 5 to 10 minutes a day, not so much creating, I know that's there, but reviewing. hopefully you've kind of set up your work week in such a way where you're just kind of following like, yeah, what did I complete yesterday? What needs to be put in today because it's still a priority, and what needs to get moved to the next day. And it should only take you about 5 to 10 minutes. If it's taking longer than that, you're probably doing too much. So when we're going to talking about mail, I'm really going to be focusing on the Google side and the Microsoft side. If for your business you're using iCloud, Yahoo, AOL, Proton Mail, or some other mail tool, you might not get the type of automation or productivity that you would if you had a Gmail account or Google Workspace or a Outlook and Microsoft 365 platform. So just know that you can still get some benefit from what I'm talking about today. It's just the one integration that you get with the HubSpot and the Click, you just won't get with, again, iCloud, Yahoo, AOL. So what I want to be able to focus on is you can have the personal versions, the Gmail, Outlook, and still work effectively. You don't have to have Google Workspace or the Microsoft 365. They're great to have for additional purposes, but you can still use the free versions. The tool that I'm going to be talking about next is one of my favorite. It's a CRM tool called HubSpot. Now, the reason I chose HubSpot out of like a Zoho CRM or a simple CRM is its ability to integrate with so many other platforms, and this includes Google and Microsoft. So this is where we're going to be focusing this CRM. If you're using another CRM, that's fine. Again, today's conversation is my use of using HubSpot to, again, accelerate my inbox triage and focusing on conversations. So again, HubSpot being a CRM, I want to hold all my conversations with either a customer or a vendor in one place, whether that's in the email or phone calls or text messages, it all goes into one place. So with that, we can also talk about, now that I've got these work items where I'm still trying to do a conversation, I can schedule follow-ups. And what I mean schedule, like actually put it on my calendar. So it's very easy to see what am I working on a daily basis of, now we've got this stuff moved into the CRM, how do I want to schedule those items? So we're going to be focusing on these features. We're going to be looking at the integrations or the synchronizations of the contacts and the calendar. And then we're going to talk about the tools. Now I'm going to call it the HubSpot extension because I'm going to be showing you from the Google perspective because that's what I use. If you're using the Microsoft platform, just when I say extension, just think add-in. You can go inside Outlook, whether it's the desktop version or if it's the cloud version, just go to add-ins and then add in HubSpot as one of those tools that you can actually add. So now I'm going to switch over to HubSpot itself. And again, we're going to be talking about the integration. So right now, I'm going to be showing you in this settings area, this is the integrations part, and you can see I've got different things connected. Now, as I mentioned, you can do this both for Outlook or for Google. I'm using Google. I've got my Google contacts synced. That means if I update or create a contact in HubSpot, it's automatically there in Google. If I do it in Google, it's automatically there in HubSpot. So there's nice synchronization between the two. Now with the calendar, this is where it becomes important. When we talk about creating tasks, a task by default in HubSpot is assumed to be 15 minutes. I haven't seen a way to change that, which that's okay for me. So when you're actually saying, hey, I want to follow up to this person using email, or I want to follow up with this person with a phone call, you can task those out, and I'll show you that in my tasks, but they're blocked off as 15 minutes. One of the practices that I have is being able to just know that if it's 15 minutes, just kind of put those all together. Like say I'm talking to 4 people, I'll just put 4 people in that time block of 15 minutes. So next up, I want to show you the extension. So again,
Hey, Michael, I think we lost your audio.
Yeah, I think I got lost there a little bit. Sorry.
Yeah, we lost your audio, so you're back. So
Okay.
gotta go back a couple slides.
All right. So again, here, hopefully everyone caught up that we're going to just go through the demo of this feature. I'm going to back up just a little bit okay, so here we are with the integration piece. This is where we can actually do the contacts and the calendar sync. And this is why it's important. The contacts is more for, I want to be able to track my conversations from my inbox into HubSpot. And then for the calendar, it's if I need to follow up with that conversation, whether email or phone call, I can just put that in my calendar with 15-minute blocks. Hopefully you were able to catch that. And so what I was going to show you is here is the Google extensions for HubSpot. So it's just a connective tool for if you're using Google. Again, if you're using the Microsoft platform, you're looking for inside Outlook, your add-ins. And it's just an easy download to install on either the desktop version of Outlook, or you can even add it to the cloud version of Outlook. So there you can get it in both places.
Michael, is this someone asked, and this is a good spot to answer. It says, is the HubSpot the same concept as the platform Wix? If not, what's the difference?
It is similar in that HubSpot has CMS, so content management system, website, blog posts, all of that can be done inside HubSpot. What I moved to HubSpot for, even though I'm a Wix partner, like that's my focus, the CRM part, the customer relationship management in Wix isn't as robust as it is in HubSpot. There is a future project happening where the two will talk to each other, but my preferred place of doing CRM work, all my revenue ops is in HubSpot. Where I do my blog post, my website is in Wix. So they have some dual purposes. I just like, Wix for a website. I just like HubSpot for CRM. But you absolutely can do, again, blog posts, website, landing pages, all that fun stuff inside HubSpot as well. So hopefully I answered your question. So inside the HubSpot extension, you're going to notice here all of your settings. The one I'm going to focus here is going to be log and track. You can see here, I always log. I don't always track, but I only turn this off because of this. HubSpot does have a kind of free forever tool. If you're using the free tool, which is great, you get all of the stuff I'm going to show you is in the free tool. The only limitation with the free tool is the tracking. You're limited to what's called 200 notifications. So tracking is all about, did someone open my email? Did they click on a link? Did they schedule a meeting? All of this stuff is under the track. And if you're using the free tool, turn it off, because that way you're not losing out on notifications for very specific things, customer engagement or vendor negotiation, those two pieces. But the logging is what we're really going to be focusing on here. Now you'll notice that I have a whole panel of tasks that I already have. These are, as you can see, are all my follow-ups on certain days at certain times. So this is where I'm going to show you like how to transition from the inbox for conversation and get them into tasks to defer that work, or if you need to do it immediately, how to do that as well. All right, with that being said, let's take an actual example. So this is truly my inbox, and he's in here somewhere. Print. Okay, so this is David. So as you can see, I have this person who I'm having a conversation with. So what I want to be able to do is log that conversation. I'm actually going to pick a different one. Let's pick Donald. Let's see. Just a second. I want to make sure I'm in the right account. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to pick someone else in this list. Let's pick Landy, or let me pick Stacy. What I'm looking for is this item here. So what I'm looking for is, this is that tool that allows you to put an item from your inbox into HubSpot. And what you do is you actually click on this link, and it's going to ask you, who do you want to link this with? And it's actually very good about knowing who to connect this email to. So you can think of it as, this is why it's important to get your contacts in sync between HubSpot and your contact tool, whether it's Google, Microsoft, because it automatically knows to make that association. So since I'm not entirely sure why this isn't working anymore, I'm just going to assume like we've had this conversation with this person. So let's move on with someone I just recently had a conversation with. And what happens is, you can see that once it's put into HubSpot, the entire email with formatting, with working links, is there in your tool. So then what I do is I go inside this. Let's assume that I've already had this, logged inside HubSpot. I'm just going to immediately delete it. Like delete it, as in just get rid of it. No more of this moving it into archive. No more moving this into some folder somewhere. Just delete it. This is what I like about HubSpot, is it lets me move all of my conversations into a place and out of my inbox. Again, I want to get to inbox 0, so I want it out of the way. Now, here's where I'm saying what you can do is create a task where I want to do a follow-up. So say I want to follow up in, let's see, in about a week. I want to schedule that for 9 a.m. and then it's going to be an email. Okay, and so I'm going to follow up with Jake Young. And now I have a task created. Okay, so from here, from the task point of view, under the sales area, under tasks, is where all of my follow-up items are. You can see some are going to be email related, some of them are going to be phone calls, but all of this is in one place. And once it's scheduled, you can see the dates in which they're scheduled. These are in, again, 15-minute blocks. And what you can do with the calendar sync is get it to where these will now show up in my calendar. And so what I want to be able to do is get it to where, okay, so you can see I've got a lot of these that are sitting at 8 o'clock. You can notice that I usually set up about 10 per block, because that's about how quickly I can burn through a lot of these follow-ups, whether it's even phone call or an email. So I want to be able to just get those on block. So when you look at your calendar, between 8 and 8:15, you're going to have these blocks to follow up. And the great thing is, if it's in your calendar, it blocks off your calendar time as busy. So if you are a person who uses, whether it's HubSpot or a Calendly or a Pocket Suite, one of these calendar scheduling tools, it actually knows to not set any of your appointments or any of your calls for that time. It's truly blocked. So again, we want to make sure that we take care of our calendar and our time of what do I want to focus on and how do I want to manage all the additional projects I have. And we'll get to to-do lists once we get inside ClickUp. So that's what I want to be able to show you is inside my calendar, you can see I have all of this stuff. And once I get it set up with, it's actually going to a different mail, but once I get it set up to where I can schedule it, it's going to show me this block of time on Friday between 8 and 8:15 that I've got all of these things. So it's very clear that when you show up that next day, like say it's Friday, I know exactly what I need to start doing. Again, I only want to spend 5 minutes on quick review. What am I supposed to be working on? And then just start doing it. Does that make sense? If there's any questions here about the inbox to HubSpot, then HubSpot to calendar, go ahead and ask those questions. Okay, no, I'm assuming I haven't seen anything in chat yet. So if there are no questions, moving on to the next part. So we're done with conversations. Remember, inbox usually comes with two things: conversation or something I need to work on. So let's work on like how to move from the inbox items that are to work on. What is this? Okay. Can you send from two different emails? Yes. So Christine, you absolutely can. This is another thing I like about HubSpot. I have one other business that I work on. And so both business emails and my personal email both go to HubSpot. Because again, what I want to work, and I'll talk about this later, is I want one place to do it all, right? Whether it's a personal thing or whether it's a professional thing, like I want one central place to do it. So if you've got multiple email addresses, whatever that happens to mean, yeah, you can do that in both HubSpot. HubSpot, you do need to add as an additional user. There's no cost for one additional user. The moment you get to 3 or more, you're going to have to get into a more higher paid subscription with HubSpot. So if you've got 2, great. Hopefully I answered your question, but yes, you can actually have multiple addresses. So concentrating on ClickUp. So again, moving to like the to-do list items. What happens to me is I'll see an item, like someone sends me a message, hey, we're still collaborating on this event that I'm supposed to be sponsoring here in Tucson. So if it's part of the conversation that goes to HubSpot, but there's something I need to do, I actually put that in ClickUp as well. So what I want to focus on with the ClickUp is, again, ClickUp is your place for projects, like full-blown projects, and your to-do list items. So both. And this is what I like about ClickUp. I've tried Asana, I've tried Monday.com, I've tried Workspaces, I've tried Trello. Was super basic, but it didn't give me what I'm looking for. Like, I mean, I've tried all of these other things. I've been using ClickUp for about a year and I'm like super in love with it. It's given me everything I needed. So that's why I'm going to be focusing on ClickUp, because again, it gives me this concept of a hierarchy. There's what's called a workspace. So you can think of that as either like an office building or just your work itself. Spaces, you can kind of customize as you need. I keep it super simple where I just have projects and that's it. If you happen to be part of a team or you have like 10 employees or more and you're segmenting out, hey, this group's doing product development, this group is doing service, customer service, this group is doing revenue ops, great. You can do spaces that way. And with lists, that's whatever you want it to be. It could be projects, it could be to-do lists, it could be, routines, and I'll talk about like how to get that set up as well. There's lots of different ways. So with ClickUp free platform, your limitation is only, and this is why I like it so much, 5 spaces, which if you're a sole entrepreneur, you don't even need 5. Like I said, you could just work off of 1 space. As you get bigger, you can still use the free tool for 5 spaces, but that's it. But what I like about ClickUp is you get unlimited lists. Like you can go as much as you want. As far as number of items, you can go unlimited. Where I used Monday.com before I used ClickUp, you were limited to 100 items and that was it. And that just wasn't enough for me to put items in, close them out, because then I have to go to the closed items and start deleting. And that just felt like a lot of work. So for me, ClickUp was a great change to where I can just get things set up, get it up and running. And when I moved to the paid version, which was just recently back in August, it opens up a few more things where now I can have unlimited spaces. I have access to custom fields. I won't show you custom fields, but I mean, if there's something very specific to your work, to your projects, and you want a field specifically for that, go for it. So that's kind of what I've done so far. Time estimates is a great thing I carried over from another to-do list tool. It helped me focus on, is this 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour, 4 hours, whatever. This is going to come in handy when you see it work with the calendar. And this just walks into the calendar view. Once you get ClickUp and your calendar in sync, you can actually just work out of the ClickUp calendar. You don't actually have to work out of your Google or Microsoft calendar. Those calendars are great for if, again, you're tying in a Calendly, the HubSpot, whatever scheduling tool to look at, right? And just see what's blocking off time. But for the most part, you're actually going to be working out of the ClickUp calendar. So I'm going to walk you through that demo right now. So this is kind of what you get from ClickUp, a nice screen that lets me know what am I working on, what's my to-dos, here's some things I'm working on, some things that are overdue, so it's really great. But for this, I want to focus on spaces. So this is, I'm just for the demo for today. There are 4 lists that have worked best for me. Again, if you're solo or if you've got about, a few team members, you're going to have at least these 4. Routines, I put into the bucket of if it's something I must do recurring, right? That goes into the routine list. This is all the things where if it's morning routine, evening routine, weekly financial review, if it's weekly planning, if it's monthly planning, strategic planning, whatever that routine is, put that into this list. And it just kind of auto runs, which is why I put at the top, it's just automatic, but it's usually the thing that I need to follow up with the most. Next up that I have in a list as far as priorities is the real projects I have. Like, what is the thing that lasts more than a day, a week, right? You could make this either like, what do I want to do for my content creation calendar? If I'm doing any type of webinar, like preparation, getting it scheduled. If it's writing a book, whatever that project is, you can put in the projects list. And I do recommend to keep your projects to like no more than 3. Like I limit myself to just 1 or 2, and that's it. Like I don't even try the 3 because I've noticed for me, it's 3 is just way too much. This is where project requests come in. There are just things that come up that I want to work on, but I just haven't found time in my calendar to really focus on it. So all of that falls into project requests. When I'm done with one project, so say I'm done creating all of my content calendar stuff, which usually takes about 2 to 3 weeks, then I'll pull something from the project request, put it inside my project list, and then continue working on, time estimates, getting it blocked off of my calendar. And then list to me is all the to-do list items. Okay, so this is where it is all of those, hey, let me send a customer like a document. So that might be in HubSpot for conversation. But if it's, sorry
We
about that.
lost you. Oh, you
Yeah, sorry
paused for a
about
second.
that. Yeah, I'm noticing like it's just for some reason automatically turning off. So list is for all your to-do list items, just really short items. But if it ends up being something where it spends, again, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, hour, 4 hours, that can go inside list as well. It could be, again, personal routines. Gardening, could be cleaning up a house, could be, picking up the kids from school, whatever that is, like that just needs to be inside list. So that's kind of how I put it. Again, you have unlimited number of lists. These are just the 4 that I focus on to keep it kind of simple for today. So going back to your inbox, okay? So again, this is going to be a extension if you're using Google. If you're Microsoft, it's just going to be another add-in that you put into Outlook. Again, whether it's desktop or browser, it's just another add-on that you add. What this looks like when it's working is, let's pick something where, so I'm going to use this as a clear example. This is something that I'm probably not going to like, it's not part of a conversation, right? It's not coming from someone. It might be a to-do list item like, hey, there might be something in here I want to follow up with. So in this item, I'm going to click this icon. Here it knows that I'm taking it from an email and I'm just going to create a brand new one. I'm going to switch my space to demo space so I can show you. I'm going to put it in my list. This is my default. If I put everything in list, this helps me prioritize whether do I want to turn into a project that might move into project requests. If it eventually does turn into a real project I work on, then it goes into projects. But for me, everything just starts in a list. I'm going to be doing this for a few of these. Okay, so now you know that it's part of a list because it has this icon here, and then delete. right? So another one that I may follow up on is this one. So again, I'm just going to show you really quick. Automatically go to list, save it. So I'll show you, just like HubSpot, it captures the whole email. So if I go back to lists, you can see that here we have the item that I want to work on. And again, the whole email is here, everything. So again, if it's an inbox item that I actually need to work on, and it might be just, hey, I want to quickly review what this means, it's here. Like you can see, it's a clickable link. And because I want to do an estimate, so say I want to spend about time estimate, there it is. I want to take only 30 minutes on this one, right? And for the next one, I probably also only want to take about 30 minutes on it. And that's it. Okay. So here, I'm just going to turn on so we can actually see it. Time estimates. All right. How much time I want to focus. Now, we went from inbox to either project or list. Again, I usually kind of default to just move it to a list for now. And now we're going to go to the calendar. So here we actually have a calendar view, and because I've synchronized it with my current calendar, it shows me all the other items I have. So from here, what I want to be able to do is I'm going to do a quick customize. I'm going to show time estimates. So I can actually see how long does something take. And then what's cool is I can drag and drop this thing wherever I want. And it knows it's 30 minutes, like automatically. This is why it's important to, in your list, just take a quick look at like how long it might take you. 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, hour, whatever. And again, just drag and drop, hey, how I want to spend time on this stuff, right? So super simple. Like now all this stuff went from my inbox into a tool that lets me schedule it and then just drop it in my calendar. And once you have it synced up, like you can see, if it's a ClickUp item, it's going to show as white. If it's part of my calendar due to whether I blocked off time to be out of office, or if it's meetings I've got scheduled, it kind of shows up in this purple. I did get a question the last time where can I change this purple color? I'm finding out no, you're kind of stuck with this purple, but okay, maybe something we can get as a feature request later. So that's how quickly you can take lists and put them on a calendar. And again, when it shows up in your calendar, it's going to show as busy, right? So it's going to show as a block of time that any of your scheduling tools will look at and say, no time here. So again, it's super perfect to just let others know, like, hey, I've got other things that I'm working on during this time. So that way you can limit, one, the interruptions, but you can also focus on the thing that you actually want to focus on. I'm going to show you another one. Like I'm just made up this project of writing a book. I did put that as far as the dates, it's going to be from today until next Monday. So it's a week long. I want to show you why that is. Again, like I said, most of the time when I'm working on a project, it's at least a week or if not more. Like sometimes it lasts 3 weeks. So I want to block off time for where, hey, I want to focus on this project. And you can see I've got some time estimates here. So again, I'm going to go to calendar. And again, I'm just going to kind of drag and drop. I'm going to start this one. This was an hour. You can actually extend it if you want. If I want an hour or if I want 30 minutes. Here, again, I just want to be able to drop it. And it knows that it's an hour. I'm going to drag this one, which is 4 hours. I'm just going to make that for tomorrow. But notice again, the importance of putting the time estimate. Like it's so easy now to just drag and drop these work items and just know, hey, where can I fit this giant block of time to do my rough draft writing, and know that my time's blocked off. Like I shouldn't be getting too many interruptions during that time because now it's part of my busy calendar. So that's how simple it is to go from, again, I can delete these because now I don't need them anymore. So again, it's super easy. You can get to a point where all of your items that you've been archiving or putting into folders can just disappear. You can just put those in a HubSpot or put those in a ClickUp and they're gone. I truly mean like delete, like just get rid of it. And when I mean delete, I just want to show you this really quick thing. I have nothing in my sent folder either. Again, all of my conversations, if they're truly conversations, are going to HubSpot. I don't need to keep anything in my inbox, a true inbox zero scenario. So that's what I really like about working with both HubSpot and ClickUp, is just to get this stuff out of the way. And again, if it's something that's not conversation, it's not something I'm going to work on, just delete it. Just get rid of it, free yourself of all that anxiety of having a really big inbox, okay? So now here's a great place where if we want to take a break for questions on the ClickUp side of things, let me know. Let's see. Here we go.
We got a few questions in here, Michael, and I don't know if you have those pulled up or not. But.
Okay. So Sierra, does ClickUp sync with HubSpot? Yes. Actually, that was something that came out as of, I believe, May or sometime earlier this year. So the items that you can sync between HubSpot and ClickUp are tasks. So you can actually sync your tasks from ClickUp into HubSpot or vice versa. Contacts, usually deals. Now there are some items that are one direction, meaning it might be just ClickUp to HubSpot, or it might be HubSpot to ClickUp only. I'm pretty sure that with HubSpot deals are your like quotes. Like you send it off to a person, say, hey, here's our quote, here's a deal that we're trying to create, and getting that through your flow. That syncs one direction. That I know for sure because I've already done that. But yes, there is that sync between the two. Anonymous, how much time do you spend doing this type of planning, or is this a daily planning thing? Oh, great question. When it comes to my daily planning, again, it's no more than 5 minutes, if not 10 minutes, because something didn't finish the day before and I do want to incorporate it today, so I might move things around. My daily activity is 5 to 10 minutes. Weekly is roughly 20 minutes. Like, again, it's not a lot, but this is why. Monthly planning is 4 hours. At the end of the month, so say Halloween time for this month, I'm going to block off 4 hours just so I want to look at what events are coming up. Again, birthdays, again, personal stuff, birthdays, conferences, conventions I'm going to, networking events. All of that goes into my monthly plan. Then it plays into what's my routine? Has anything changed? Do I want to make any tweaks? Next up is projects, right? If I'm actively working on a project, how much is left? Or if I've cleared out my project list, that goes. So that one takes 4 hours. Quarterly strategic planning, that's a whole day. Again, end of the quarter, it's a full day just going through a lot of prompting. But because I do that work of 8 hours for a quarterly plan and 4 hours on a monthly plan, my weekly and my daily planning is like nothing. Like it, again, it's just more reminders of what am I currently working on. And if something does come up that I want to add, it just goes into lists or goes into project requests. Super simple. So yeah, it can be really quick. Next question. What are your thoughts on early morning 3 a.m. free mind frame to help maximize your day productivity when considering your inbox, and what are you showing us? Yes, actually part of my morning routine is 30 minutes. And it's actually, let me kind of quickly show you that, because I did copy my real routine here just so you can kind of see it. Like this is everything. I have a digital scale, I take supplements, brush teeth, do morning meditation, check blood pressure. But this is also where the time after, this is my activity. This is what I check every day. That takes me, again, like 5 to 10 minutes. Who do I want to become? What do I improve? And just review. That's it. Like that's my morning schedule. Here it's time blocked as like an hour. It normally doesn't take me an hour to go through this. It usually takes me about 30 minutes. I just want to block that time for those times where, just in case something changes, where I get, again, right now, I get a phone call from my dad who has an emergency. Great. Now I have to kind of negotiate things a little bit, and that might take a little longer. But yeah, I actually wake up at about 4:30 and start my activities, and then starting at about 5 o'clock, I start my morning routine, and then I finish out my daily planning. So great question on that. Any other questions about the tools? Again, we want to get out of inbox, start deleting everything, move into either HubSpot or ClickUp to either go for a conversation to do, and then get it on my and get it on the calendar. So that's it. That's the bulk of it. And if there's no other questions, let's just hop and finish out the rest of this. So one of the things I want to focus on is, I've had asked this question before: should I have a personal version of the tool and should I have a professional version of the tool? If you're just starting out, like I had mentioned, don't confuse yourself with two versions of the same tool. I would literally just put it all in one. Put my personal things, put my professional things all in one HubSpot account, one ClickUp account. There are ways when you grow and you have teams, still, like I'm saying, like, go ahead and use HubSpot, ClickUp. If you're worried about your personal contacts being shown to your team members, inside HubSpot, you can assign a contact, a business contact, to one of your team members. They can't see the rest. They can only see what's given to them. That's it. So this is great. What I like about HubSpot is making it very simple, that as you grow, you can still use the same tool for both, again, personal, professional things. ClickUp is the same way. You can have private spaces for you, which means only you can see even that space. And then you've got a team, again, who does the revenue ops, the customer service, or the product development. They have their own spaces, they do their own thing, and you can block off your thing as you need, right? So this is my recommendation. Even for me, I actually have the two, and this is why I'm recommending just keep to one. There's already privacy things put in place where you can separate. So to truly get to inbox zero, I'm just going to mention this bulk. If you are a person who's been a big hoarder of like inbox unread, if it's more than 6 months, just delete it. It's not that important if it's 6 months old and you haven't even read it. It's really not going to help you, like, keeping it in an archive even. Just get rid of it. Unsubscribe to everything. And what I mean by this is what's helped me. The only stuff I now subscribe to are items that is currently on my skill development list. So last quarter was video production. This quarter is all about podcasts. So I'm only taking in emails that helps me learn that. The stuff that's related to marketing, or the stuff even related to financials, I actually unsubscribe from those because that's too busy for me. It's great that I have it, but honestly, all I have to do is Google search and I eventually find the materials I need. So if it does come up, that's great, but I don't need to fill my inbox with just the stuff. I only want to fill my inbox with just the stuff I want to focus on. This is a good one. I've given this to many directors and senior leaders. If you're coming off a vacation, because you get bombarded by email, if you come back, let your vacation responder last 1 or even 2 more days so you can triage your inbox, right? Like, hopefully you haven't been looking at your inbox while you're on vacation. Just spend that time to triage. And with both the ClickUp and your HubSpot, you can schedule stuff to either respond or actually to work on an item after the vacation responder is complete. Does that make sense? Like, I really want to get people into the habit of, like, don't be anxious about your inbox. When you come back from vacation, yep, it's going to be full. Just triage it as quickly as you can. It is either a conversation, it's either a to-do list, or you just automatically delete it and just get through that. The last thing I want to mention is you do want to make this a daily habit. Like, find a block of time in which you do this. I tell you, I have 4 blocks of time. It's 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock. It's every 3 hours, and I quickly get through that, and that's about it. So those are my recommendations. So hopefully what you've got out of today's session is how to truly get to inbox zero, quit wasting time with to-do lists, and focusing on conversations and the items that you really are focused on, projects or quick tasks that you want to get through. And this is my contact info. The QR code is just a quick link to the feedback form. I believe I gave Faith the link. So if you aren't able to use your phone to get to the QR code, you hopefully will get the link to my feedback form. It does help me navigate or change all of my workshops to work for you. So one conversation I had was, please make it more hands-on. So hopefully I was able to accomplish that today. And thank you so much.
All right, Michael, we have a really good question to wrap up with.
Yeah.
Thank you for your presentation and the time. And we have time for just this one question, which is a perfect wrap-up question. And it says, considering we are all mobile these days, how do you take that into consideration when looking at the zero inbox? One struggle is I am never not available since the phone is on 24/7 and always with me.
Yeah. So that's an interesting question. I will tell you this. When when I do my scheduled blocks, like every 3 hours to do my inbox triaging, uh, that can only be done on desktop for now. So when you do your triage, you will need to be in front of your desktop. Once that's done, both HubSpot and ClickUp do have a mobile app to walk you through. What I even like about HubSpot when it comes to email and phone calls is I can do that right there with the phone with me. So I can be off like a grocery store somewhere and do that. Same with ClickUp. If I'm working on tasks or I've completed a task, I can go inside my ClickUp tool and just close it out and then start moving things around as needed. So yes, for the triage part, desktop, once you get set up, go ahead and just use your mobile phone.
Very good. Perfect. We are right at time. So thank you, Michael. We appreciate you being. We appreciate all of our attendees for being with us today as well. And we have some very good questions. So thank you for asking those. It always makes these webinars better when we have those good questions. So thank you very much. And we hope everybody can have a great week, and we hope to see you next week. But until then, have a great week. Be safe, and we'll see you soon. And again, thank you, Michael, for joining us, and we will see everybody later. Have a great
All right.
day.
Take care, everyone.